divide fractions. So we divide fractions by multiplying by the reciprocal. So let's look at the first example. So say we have a third of a pie that's left. So let's go ahead and draw. So we could say we have like this much left. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, but. So we have a third of the pie left. And if we want to divide it into 1/6 slices, how many slices of pie is that? So this is a division problem. So we're going to go 1/3 divided by 1/6 to see how many pieces we get, or slices. So how we do this, right, is we go 1/3. We're going to change the sign, right? So we change the division sign to multiplication. And then we go times 6, then over 1. Right, so we took the reciprocal. So we multiplied, right? We're multiplying by the reciprocal. So let's go ahead and do that. So if we have, right, let's go ahead and do our trick. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now we multiply what's on top. So 1 times 2, that's 2. 1 times 1 is 1. So we get essentially 2 pieces or slices. Right, and that does make sense. So if we look at this, right, if we're dividing this into 1/6 slices, right, this pie all of a sudden just became a lot bigger. Right, if we're doing 1/6 slices, right, we cut this into 1/6. Well, we have one here and one here, which is 1/3. So we can see how that kind of works out visually. So that's what it means to divide fractions. So we took this 1/3 and we want to divide into 1/6. So that's these 2 slices. Let's look at another example. So example 2. So 3/4 of the cake is left. And if one wanted to divide it into 1/8 slices, how many slices of cake is that? So let's think about this. We have a cake. And a very awkward looking cake like that. But if we had, say, 3/4 of the pie left. Say this was very circular, but it's not, I know for this. And we want to cut it into 1/8 slices. So that means we're going to do division. So we're dividing fractions. It's 3/4 divided by 1/8. Well, how we divide fractions is we go ahead and change the sign from division to multiplication. And then we take the reciprocal. So we go 8 over 1. Now, this 4 and this 8 can be reduced before we even actually multiply. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now you could have first divided by 2, then got 4 and 2, and then, further divided by 2 again. I just skipped to 4 because I knew you could take out 4 on both of them. So now we're going to multiply what's on the top. So we have 3 times 2, so that's 6. 1 times 1 is 1, so we have 6 slices. Right, and that makes sense. So if we were to cut a cake into, right, 1/8 slices, so essentially 8 slices. And if we were to have 6 slices, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice it covers the same amount. We just have 6 slices now because we cut them into 1/8 slices. So let's look at another example. So example 3. So we're going to solve for the following. We have 3/4 divided by -5/16. So notice we have a negative sign, so that's different for this one. But everything holds the same, right? So we're going to go 3/4. We're going to change the division to multiplication. And then we're going to take the reciprocal of the second fraction. So we're going to go -16/5. Now, before we move on, let's go ahead and divide by 4 here. So that's 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Now 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 5 is 5. Now, what am I missing? I'm missing the negative sign here. So our answer, just to rewrite it to really see the negative sign, is right here. Because anytime you multiply a positive by a negative number, you have a negative number. So let's go ahead and look at the next example. So example 4, we're going to solve for the following. We have negative 6 over 5 divided by negative 8 over 45. So let's go ahead and write this. So we have negative 6 over 5. We're going to change the sign again to multiplication. And then we have negative, and then we're taking the reciprocal, so negative 45 over 8. Now, let's go ahead and reduce. So we have 5 and 45. So let's divide by 5 on each one. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Now we have 6 and 8. Let's go ahead and divide by 2. So that's 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now let's go ahead and multiply because we have reduced as much as we can. Now notice we have a negative and a negative. So that makes a positive sign, right? I like to think of like the two negative signs can make a positive sign. That's how I remember it when I'm multiplying or dividing. And that's stuck with me for years. So if that helps you, great. Or if you just know, great. So now 3 times 9 is 27. 1 times 4 is 4. And that would be our answer.